Hey VC, Cindy here. I just discovered a new channel and it's called Nerdy Punk. Thank you, David Newton, for the recommendation. And he is having a 100 subs contest. And today is the last day to enter, and I just discovered his channel today. But I wanted to go ahead and support his channel. Seems like a really fun contest. It's just showing 5 gateway albums, so 5 albums that maybe introduced you to a genre, or maybe it's the first album you discovered of an artist that you really dig. And so I'm going to share 5 albums here. So the first one is, I really love 60s girl groups, and my introduction to 60s girl groups was through the Supremes. And my mom was a big Supremes fan, and she had several of their albums. So when I was a kid, I was really introduced to the Motown sound and the Supremes. And so the Supremes was my gateway group to 60s girl groups. The next one is, I also love the new wave genre, and that really exploded during the 80s. And I was probably junior high, I think maybe 7th grade summer or 8th grade. Around 82, I picked up A Flock of Seagulls, and this is my actual album from back in the day, and this was my entry to new wave music. I still love this album. It is a solid album. Of course, the big hit on this was I Ran, but Space Age Love Song, I love that song. That's so great. Love telecommunication, messages, so really great album. So another genre that I am definitely gravitate towards, and if I hear like that reverb, that surf guitar sound in modern music, I'm instantly attracted to whatever band or artist that is. But my introduction to like kind of surf instrumental was when I was a little girl, and that would be the Ventures surfing. And my dad was a big surfer, Ventures fan. He played guitar, so he kind of jammed with friends all the time. And I really love the Ventures. You know, if I see something out in the wild and it's in good condition, I pick it up. But this one has some really good songs on it, including Pipeline, which was covered by a lot of surf music. And because of the Ventures, some other surf music I discovered was, of course, the Safaris. And really love the Safaris. This is their Wipeout album. And there's a song on here called Surfer Joe. And I love that song when I was younger. And then in my later teen years, there was a song that came out that referenced Surfer Joe in their lyrics. And I had heard this band before, but I never really got into them until that song. And so that song off of the Don't Tell a Soul album, The Replacements, that was my, that song was a kind of gateway to The Replacements for me. And the song on here that was, which one was it? Oh my gosh. I think it's I'll Be You. I'll Be You references Surfer Joe in it, and I just fell in love with that song. I don't feel like this is the best Replacements album. I really like, I think my favorite is Let It Be or Tim, but this is a great album too. And so I'll Be You is my kind of surfer gateway thing. But once I discovered the Replacements and I kind of got into their catalog, they have a song called Alex Chilton. And I did not know who Alex Chilton was, but because of the Replacements, I kind of dug a little and I discovered Big Star. So Alex Chilton by the Replacements was my kind of gateway to Big Star. And of course, Alex Chilton is the lead singer on this. Such a great group that never really made it big. And on this album, probably their big hit that maybe people have heard is 13. And just really great album. And because I really liked Big Star, I dug a little deeper. And I had heard of this group before, but I didn't know Alex Chilton was in that group, and that is the Box Tops. And I had heard the letter before, but that was about it. I had heard the song. I didn't really know much more. And this is a Music on Vinyl reissue, but it's the best of the Box Tops, Soul Deep. So this is a great accessible album for those of you that might want to dig kind of into their discography. So that's the Box Tops. And finally, I want to share a soundtrack. So really a lot of artists that I've kind of gotten into, you know, I might have heard a song of theirs on a soundtrack. And a really great soundtrack that I love, of course, is the Pretty in Pink soundtrack from 1986's Pretty in Pink. And there's some great artists on here: Echo and the Bunnymen, The Smiths, In Excess, who else is on here? New Order, Psychedelic Furs. So some really great albums. But a song that was featured on this soundtrack that isn't on the soundtrack itself is Tenderness by Otis Redding. And of course, the character here, Ducky, serenades Andy here in the record store, and he is singing a rendition of Otis Redding's Tenderness. And that kind of really wanted me to explore Otis Redding a little more. I really loved that song. And I don't have an album with Tenderness on it, but you know, it did lead me to other Otis albums such as Otis Blue, where Otis sings soul. So it's a really great album. I really like Otis Redding. I don't have a lot of him, but really great artist. And so that's my 5 gateway albums. Check out the Nerdy Punks channel. Like I said, I'm kind of new to his channel, so I don't know much about him yet, but it seems like a nice gent who's really into music. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side.